Television cameras on the ground and in the air capture the surreal scene live. Two paramilitary-style gunmen take over a bank using terrorist technology. February 28, 1997. North Hollywood, located in the heart of the bank robbery capital of the world, Los Angeles. Donning full body armor and automatic weapons, they charge out of a Bank of America branch in North Hollywood. With brutal and brazen disregard, they fire armor-piercing ammo into police and civilians. A congested residential area turns into a combat zone. The shootout will end with deaths and dozens of injuries.
Both robbers were killed, 12 police officers and 8 civilians were injured, and numerous vehicles and other property were damaged or destroyed by the nearly 2,000 rounds of ammunition fired by the robbers and police. At 9:16 a.m., Phillips and Mătăsăreanu entered and robbed Bank of America's North Hollywood branch. The robbers were confronted by Los Angeles Police Department (LAPD) officers when they exited the bank, and a shootout between the officers. Phillips and Mătăsăreanu had robbed at least 2 other banks previously, using similar methods involving using their automatic rifles to get past security doors, taking control of the entire bank, and firing weapons illegally obtained and capable of fully automatic fire. They were also suspects in 2 armored cars. Standard-issue sidearms carried by most local patrol officers at the time were 9mm pistols or .38 special revolvers. Some patrol cars were also equipped with a 12-gauge shotgun. Phillips and Mătăsăreanu carried Norinco Type 56 rifles and a Bushmaster XM-15 dissipator with a 100-round drum magazine, both of which had been illegally modified to be select-fire capable, as well as a Heckler & Koch 91 Hong Kong dollars rifle and a Beretta 92 FS pistol. The robbers wore homemade body armor which successfully protected them from handgun rounds and shotgun pellets fired by the responding officers. An LAPD Metropolitan Division SWAT team eventually arrived with higher power weapons, but they had little effect on the heavy body armor used by the 2 perpetrators. The SWAT team also commandeered an armored car to evacuate the wounded. Several officers additionally equipped themselves with rifles from a nearby firearms dealer. The incident sparked debate on the need for patrol officers to upgrade their firepower in preparation for similar situations in the future. Due to the large number of injuries and rounds fired, equipment used by the robbers, and overall length of the shootout, it is regarded as one of the most intense and significant gun battles in U.S. police history. Combined, the 2 robbers had fired approximately 1,100 rounds in total, while approximately 650 rounds were fired by police. Another estimate is that a total of nearly 2,000 rounds were fired collectively.
I'll cover. Just create enough chaos and we're bound to slip through. Right. I'm not going to jail.
Wait, hold on. The gun...
Larry Eugene Phillips Jr., born September 20, 1970, and Disciple Stefan Emilian Emil Mătăsăreanu, born July 19, 1966, first met at Gold's Gym in Venice, a Los Angeles, California neighborhood, in 1989. Phillips and Mătăsăreanu shared interests in weightlifting, bodybuilding, and firearms. They were both large men. Larry Phillips Jr. was 6 feet tall and weighed 200 pounds, 104 kilograms, and Emil Mătăsăreanu was 6 feet tall and weighed 200 pounds, 122 kilograms. Prior to meeting, Phillips was a habitual criminal, responsible for numerous real estate frauds and shoplifting charges. His first arrest was in 1989 when he stole $400 worth of merchandise, including 2 pairs of suits, from a Sears store in Alhambra. He lived with his wife in Anaheim Hills. Mătăsăreanu was born in Timișoara, Romania to parents who moved to Altadena, California in 1974. He attended Pasadena High School. He was reportedly bullied growing up because of his accent and weight. In an interview with his mother after his death, she said that bullying by his classmates made him turn to computers as an escape. She described her son as a skilled marksman and computer genius who programmed arcade games and video games. On July 20, 1993, Phillips and Mătăsăreanu stole an armored car outside a First Bank branch in Littleton, Colorado. 3 months later, on October 23, they were initially stopped by Glendale police when Mătăsăreanu was speeding in a red 1993 Pontiac Firebird. After the traffic stop, Mătăsăreanu lied to the police officer about who owned the car. A subsequent search of their vehicle, after Phillips surrendered with a concealed weapon, found 2 semi-automatic rifles, 2 handguns, over 1,600 rounds of 7.62 by 39 mm rifle ammunition, 1,200 rounds of 9 by 19 mm parabellum and .45 ACP pistol ammunition, radio scanners, 6 smoke grenades, improvised explosive devices, bulletproof vests, a wig, a stopwatch, a gas mask, and 3 different California license plates. They were initially charged with conspiracy to commit robbery, which was reduced to a misdemeanor through a plea bargain. Both served 100 days in jail and were placed on 3 years probation. Upon their release, most of their confiscated property was returned to them, except for the confiscated firearms and explosives. On June 14, 1995, Phillips and Mătăsăreanu ambushed a Brinks armored car in Winnetka, Los Angeles, killing a guard, Herman Cook, and seriously wounding another. In May 1996, they robbed 2 Bank of America branches in the San Fernando Valley area of Los Angeles, stealing approximately $1.5 million. Investigators dubbed the duo the high-incident bandits because of the weapons they used in 3 robberies prior to their North Hollywood attempt.
In May of 1996, they robbed 2 Bank of America branches in the San Fernando Valley and seized over $1.5 million. It's all caught on videotape.
And into the vaulted areas.
February 28, 1997. The robbers dress to kill. Phillips dons 43 pounds of body armor made of Kevlar, a woven substance which is 5 times stronger than steel. He painstakingly sewed together his body armor, which covers the top of his neck down to his ankles. Mătăsăreanu sloppily made his armor, which doesn't cover his arms and legs. However, he inserts a trauma plate into the front of his Kevlar vest to protect vital organs. They also load up with close to 3,000 rounds, including armor-piercing ammo, the kind that can penetrate cars, not to mention bulletproof vests, from 200 yards away. Their strategy? Outgun and out-armor the cops. The robbers also wear gloves with stopwatches sewn in them. They got this idea from the film Heat, which features a bank robbery. They will follow the 8-minute rule, the max amount of time spent in the bank. They've determined this is typically how long it takes cops to respond to a robbery. Approximately 8:30 a.m. From their Van Nuys safe house, the bandits head east toward North Hollywood in a white Chevrolet Celebrity. They both swallow the barbiturate phenobarbital, a muscle relaxant. 9 a.m. Bank of America is open for business. (9:17 a.m.) Officers Lauren Farrell and Martin Perillo just happened to be cruising by. They witnessed 2 masked men entering the bank. It's a rare but fortuitous moment. They call for backup. Larry Phillips and Emil Mătăsăreanu storm into the bank. Armed with fully automatic AK-47s, they fire numerous rounds at the ceiling and order everyone to the floor.
Definitely a takeover technique, but unlike anything that I'd ever seen. This particular branch had what we call bandit barriers in it, which are glass partitions that go from the counters to the ceilings.
Phillips forces the bank manager into the vault to fill their money bag.
39, we're responding code 3.
39 is responding code 3.
When he sees only small denomination bills, he releases a burst of automatic fire.
All units, officer needs help. Laurel Canyon, north of Kittredge, shots fired.
Phillips heads to the bank's ATM machine for more cash. This robbery is far from routine. It will become nothing short of a full-scale military battle. Solves around the inner perimeter of the bank, known as the Circle of Fire. One of the officers is James Zaborovan, who's been out of the police academy for only 2 months. Officer Zaborovan and his training partner, Stuart Guy, find cover behind a locksmith kiosk located across the street from the bank.
More shots are being fired from inside the bank. I want one unit on the north side, I want a unit on the south side, and I want a unit on the back, if possible.
North Hollywood detectives and officers find cover around the back of the bank, north door.
Personnel 42 is requesting a unit to safely position themselves in front of the front door.
9:25 a.m. After approximately 8 minutes, the gunmen abandoned the heist with a little over $300,000. They had expected to clear over $750,000, like they had in the previous robberies. Larry Phillips emerges from the bank's north door. Emil Mătăsăreanu exits from the south door. Wearing combat fatigues and clutching AK-47s, they look ready for battle. Phillips eyes police blocking the northwest intersection of Laurel Canyon and Archwood. Both gunmen continue to spray the perimeter of the bank with deadly fire.
Their only hope is that the criminals will go. When, 7 minutes into the firefight, Mătăsăreanu climbs in the Chevy and shouts at Phillips to do the same, officers pray they'll make their getaway without further bloodshed. But Phillips knows he's packing the bigger weapons, and he's not finished yet. LAPD is faced with an unprecedented scenario. Robbers who want to stay and fight.
While police fire deflects the robbers' attention, Van Nuys officers Todd Schmitz and Anthony Kabunik attempt to rescue wounded officer Martin Whitfield. But as they enter the strike zone, they discover Officer Stuart Guy pinned down in the parking lot.
There's Anthony Kabunik and Todd Schmitz lift Stuart into the back of the police car and backed out of that parking lot as fast as they could. Without regard for their own safety, those two officers...
One officer at a gun store getting several AR-15s for the unit.
The cops borrow several assault rifles with .223 caliber ammo. But by the time they're deployed, the first SWAT unit arrives.
Martin Whitfield is still bleeding out in the kill zone. 18 minutes into the gun battle, with the police on their knees, SWAT arrives.
We need help out here with the officers down here.
Before tackling the gunman, SWAT has a more urgent priority: rescuing Officer Whitfield and the civilians. To do this, they need to go right into the heart of the shooting. The question is, how? Then, one of the officers spots something. It's an armored truck with today's cash delivery. Could the 15-ton steel vehicle be just what they need to deliver Whitfield out of the danger zone? 5 officers commandeer the truck. They climb in and drive through gunfire towards Whitfield. He's still breathing, but he's lost several pints of blood and is barely conscious. They scoop his motionless body into the back. Now, just the civilians remain in the kill zone. But time is running out for one of them.
While the armored truck rescues victims, the gunmen are fleeing the bank's north parking lot. Phillips continues to fire rounds while he walks alongside the slowly moving getaway car driven by Mătăsăreanu.
Knowing SWAT is packing automatic rifles, the gunmen make a break for it.
Okay, we have some gunfire right now going on. We just saw some puff of smoke coming out of the side.
Millions of TV viewers watch Larry Phillips lead on foot while his partner drives the Chevy, loaded with weapons and ammunition.
We've got one suspect driving the white vehicle from the north parking lot. We've got one suspect on foot. Innocent suspect vehicle, do not stop it. They've got automatic weapons. There's nothing we have that can stop them.
Officers are desperate to prevent their march into a residential neighborhood. They shoot out all 4 tires. But this fails to stop them.
Roger that at Long Island. The vehicle has not come out. He may be hit. The other suspect is walking on the east side of the vehicle. He's taking him down. Everybody down.
Everybody down. Shots are being fired. One suspect is possibly injured inside the vehicle and one is outside the white vehicle to the rear of the bank.
Phillips appears unfazed as officers shoot out the tires on the getaway car.
Inexplicably, Phillips now splits with his partner. Whether he's planning to escape or to inflict more collateral damage isn't clear, but it presents officers with fresh terror.
And 45 all officers out here in my end to stay down. There's all kinds of ricochets flying. Stay down, everybody.
All officers stay down. Shots are still being fired.
We've got one suspect on foot. We've got one suspect driving the white vehicle.
Mătăsăreanu continues to drive, while Phillips ducks behind a tractor trailer.
The suspect on foot is behind a long truck trailer rig.
We left the backyard and we headed up the street to cut them off. I was met by Officer Caparelli, who was running away from the corner and shooting back behind him. He ran by me. I said, "What are you shooting at?" He said, "There's another one. He's under that truck."
What takes place next is the critical turning point in the entire conflict, and police can't even see it. Hidden by the truck, Phillips attaches a fresh 100-round drum to his AK-47 and continues spraying bullets. A police bullet rips into the thumb on his left hand. He continues shooting, but moments later, his AK-47 suffers what's known as a stovepipe jam. After it fires a bullet, the AK-47 ejects the casing. But if the rifle suffers excess movement, a shell can become misaligned. It then gets trapped in the ejection port. To clear the jam, all Phillips needs to do is flick the trapped shell with his thumb. But because his hand's badly injured, he can't. He's forced to discard the AK-47 and produce his final weapon. It's a 9mm Beretta handgun, exactly the same model as the one carried by the police. But Phillips carries on shooting. He stoops to retrieve his dropped weapon and realizes there's no escape. Larry Phillips Jr. is dead.
Officers fire at Phillips. One round strikes his hand. He drops his gun. Then he picks it up, points it under his chin, and squeezes the trigger. At the same moment, a police bullet rips through his shoulder and severs his spine.
But his partner is still on the loose. He's got 3 automatic rifles and 2,000 rounds of ammunition.
The second suspect, Emil Mătăsăreanu, still flees down a residential street. He suddenly exits the passenger side and blasts the area with automatic fire.
Be advised, the suspect in the white vehicle is at Lamp. He's out of the vehicle. He's shooting at civilians.
The suspect is out of the vehicle at Lamp shooting at civilians.
Mătăsăreanu then hobbles around to the driver's side. Police now believe he has been hit in the lower leg.
The suspect is back in the white vehicle. He is now moving slowly eastbound between Lamp and Beck.
Mătăsăreanu suddenly fires through his windshield and strikes an oncoming Jeep pickup truck.
Mătăsăreanu sees a patrol car speeding towards him. He fires a shot, then transfers his guns into the truck and climbs in. It is now he makes an alarming discovery. Bill has taken the keys.
Officers wave the SWAT unit down the street. They think they're going to rescue someone injured. Instead, they pull up within feet of the suspect. Mătăsăreanu abandons the hijacked truck and fires at SWAT from the hood of his getaway car.
More shots are being fired. Shots are being fired.
SWAT officers pummel rounds under 3 vehicles toward Mătăsăreanu's feet. The suspect returns fire at close range, using a fully automatic M16 rifle.
Be advised, the suspect is prone out. He may be shooting underneath the vehicle towards officers.
The suspect is prone out and possibly shooting at the officers from under the vehicle.
After almost 2 minutes of intense fire, Mătăsăreanu drops his weapon. The SWAT unit carefully draws near the suspect. At 9:59 a.m., Emil Mătăsăreanu is handcuffed.
The patrol car screams towards the truck, but it isn't carrying regular officers. This is SWAT. Anderson shoots the suspect, flush in the chest. He thinks he's ended the gun battle, but the suspect is saved by his armor. To Anderson's horror, Mătăsăreanu resurfaces. They exchange more fire. Then, a SWAT officer's worst nightmare. Anderson's gun jams. As he clears it, he has an idea. Under the car, he spots a chink in Mătăsăreanu's armor. Finally, with bullets riddling his legs, Mătăsăreanu goes down. He's been shot 29 times, but he's still alive. As SWAT officers move in to arrest him, Mătăsăreanu has a final surprise.
The 45-minute ordeal is over. Mătăsăreanu will die before paramedics can reach him.
Back on the streets, one injured man is still bleeding out. Emil Mătăsăreanu lies here for 70 minutes until his body succumbs to the trauma and he dies. His family accuses police of letting him bleed to death. LAPD counters that ambulance personnel followed procedure in hostile situations by not entering the hot zone. The high-incident bandits fired over 1,100 rounds of ammunition. That's a bullet every 2 seconds. What were they hoping to achieve? They could have made their getaway. When officers raided their apartment, amongst tens of thousands of dollars,